Hello, everyone. Thanks for, well, let me start off by saying thanks to everyone for helping out so far. The GoFundMe page is doing really well. It's picking up some steam. Not a lot of peace of mind in the household right now, but it is a nice peace of mind to know people are helping out, and I have some really amazing friends and family. So thank you for that. And now let's hop into it again. In the first video, I alluded to there's different types of my condition. So again, this is also for, maybe people that don't know me, just people who have this disease and like me a month ago, just randomly wandering around the internet trying to find some answers. So here we go. Here goes a little bit of some answers. So I said last time there was a low mucinous and high mucinous. The more technical terms are DPM. Okay, this is disseminated peritoneal endomucinous. Okay. This is the low mucus one. This is little cytological atopy, which means most of the cells are basically the same. There's not much different in the cell type, the cell structure. So when you fight it, you're just trying to fight one specific kind of cell. There's little mitotic activity, which means division. They're slowly dividing, slowly spreading. And it has low cellularity. That's a tongue twister. That means the cells cluster together in low numbers. Okay, so when they join, they kind of cluster and they just, like an eon, whatever, they hold on to tight. This one, it's not as many that are really holding on tight together. Usually it's smaller batches of groups of them that are clustering together, not like this huge mass of like 1,000 of them, just squeezing together and yeah. Anyway, so there's that one. And the other one is the PCMA, peritoneal carcinous mucinous endocarcinous. I think that I put the carcinous twice, but it's really hard. I don't know why. I can't really find what it exactly stands for. There's like two different, anyway. So it's something like that. But this one it's dividing faster, so it has high cardiac. It's irregular cells. It has the signet ring on some occasions. It has high cellularity. And it also has more abundant mucinous epithelium, which means that it has a stronger, it's stronger, the shell of the cell is stronger, and it also produces secretions at a much stronger way, I guess you can say. So it's easier to spread, it's growing, and it's spreading, it's kind of lethal. So that being said, one thing that both of my specialists agreed on is that I am this one. Luckily enough, they both believe I am the PMP. So I'll get this out the way because I don't want to look at that because it's kind of scary. But anyway, just in case, again, if you're watching this, if you are this one, it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit tougher. Don't give up hope. But the next thing we have here is the signet ring cell. Again, it is a lot more common in this one, in the PCMA, but it also can be found in DPM as well. But as of now, there is no evidence in the tests so far that show that I have signet ring cell. We won't know for sure until post-operative testing is done and they can take and do some biopsies and figure everything out. And again, as I said, both specialists believe I don't have this. So that's another good note, another good sign. Things are, things are bad. Things are pretty bad, but, a little bit of good news never hurts. And the last little thing we have is the PCI. PCI, you're going to hear me say a couple of times in this video probably and over the course of the next couple of years. PCI is a peritoneal cancer index. It's pretty much just a number that they score you. Just kind of tells how severe your case is. What happens is it's used to assess the extent of peritoneal cancer throughout the peritoneal cavity. So what they do is the peritoneal cavity is divided into 13 regions. It's pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The top part below diaphragm, the middle part around your stomach, and the lower part down near your groin and where your colon and everything else is. And then the last four are actually your digestive tract. Going through your intestines, 2 parts of your intestines, and then the bottom part of your rectum. So all that is up to 13. And then each region gets a specific score. If there's no tumor in a region, that region gets a 0 score. If the largest tumor in that region is a 0.5 centimeter, it gets 1 point score. If the largest tumor is between 0.5 centimeter and 5 centimeters, it'll get a 2-point score. If the largest tumor is over 5 centimeters, then you get a 3-point score. Now, so the highest you can get is a 39, and generally speaking, the most recent studies, they don't really correlate PCI to overall success and survival rate. It's just more of an index. That being said, the chances of a successful surgery are a lot better if you have a low score. Again, if you have a successful surgery, feasibly it's all taken out, so you're going back down to 0. That's the point of the surgery, is to get you PCI down to 0. But if you have a really high PCI, it's much harder to get you down to 0, and there's a chance they can't do it. So the lower the number, the better. So what's my PCI? You probably want to know. That's the next question. The first expert gave me a PCI. He estimated, again, none of this they can't know for sure. The PCI actually is usually set when they cut you open, and they take their time and they look through every section and they measure everything and they score the sections. But looking at the photos, again, luckily my surgeon was pretty great and he took a lot of pictures. So looking at what he can see and through the scans, my doctor estimates I'm probably like a PCI 20, somewhere between like 18 and 22, which isn't great. I'm not gonna lie to you. 10 or less, that's like great, man. Again, nothing of. I get too excited, I think sometimes, but no, like under 10, it's still bad because it's cancer and it's lethal. But under 10, prognosis is usually really good. The doctor's pretty good feeling they can get it all out of there. 30 and above, that's where it gets really, really tricky. That's where they usually take a little more time, kind of figure everything out. I'm in that middle range, where a lot of times it depends on exactly where everything is, which we'll get to in a minute. All right, so I am DPAM, no signet ring, and I somewhere around a 20-ish so PCI. What does all this amount to? What is all this for? Well, the big step that we're trying to get at, the one thing that can actually cure, the one chance at a cure is something called cytoreductive surgery. As I alluded to in the first one, there's the management, which is just chemotherapy. They'll keep you alive as long as they can, just like most stage 4 cancers that are uncurable. They just give you chemotherapy, and you just kind of tag along as long as you can. This one, even at stage 4, there is a chance for a cure. It's not a very easily taken chance, and it's quite a cost to it, which we'll get into in a second. Okay, let's jump into it. It is cytoreductive surgery. Again, it is only for selected patients. This is not a question of like, oh, you're the lucky one, or you get a lotto ticket and you're like, oh, I hope. No, it's just about if they think they can actually do the surgery successfully. Because the idea is they're going to go in there and surgically removing any visible tumor, mucus, cancer. So if they open you up and they say, oh yeah, that's way too much there, we can't get that, that's stuck right in the middle of his liver or kidney or some other part that they cannot take out, then they just say, oh, okay, close you back up, time for chemo. So then you're back in the management phase. So again, the idea is they want to take all of it out. If they can't, we don't move on to the next part of the surgery. So this surgery though, and this is the more recent. They used to be a lot worse. So if you Google this later, make sure you're reading something that was from the last, 5 or 6 years, because if you don't, you're probably really worried about me. A decade ago, this was more like 10%. So it's getting a lot better. People have a lot more experience. The morbidity rate, sorry, there's not an L in there. The morbidity rate is 22 to 34%. Now, morbidity, pretty much what it means, it's diseased or unhealthy. That means after the surgery, for extended period of time, are these people healthy? And 22 to 34% of people will have surgical site infections, in intraabdominal abscesses, because again, they're going to be taking out big chunks of you. There's going to be empty pockets in there, plenty of room for things to get infected, abscesses to grow, pools of fluid to build up. So again, it's really important after the surgery that they manage it well, they get everything cleaned out well. And again, a lot of people get after surgery issues that come up that can be very, very severe. And then the 1-year recurrence rate for the PMP is 35%, which means even after this surgery, within the first year, 35 people will already have tests showing it's coming back. So it's not a cure-all. And the 5-year recurrence rate is even higher. So again, it's not a cure. It is a long shot, a chance for a cure, but it has cured some people. And it's the only thing that we've proven that can do that. So it's what you're hoping for. For me, again, it needs to be complete or no HEPIC. And what is HEPIC? HEPIC is down here. We'll get to that in 1 second. But for me, they will, so far, one thing I have talked to both the specialists about, if I do this procedure, they will be removing my spleen, my gallbladder, and a rather large portion of my small intestines and large intestines. So, yeah, if the night before this, I'll have to have like a little remembrance, some kind of going away party for those organs, and have some fun. But don't worry, your spleen isn't vital. It just helps fight when you're sick, helps fight off colds and pneumonia, stuff like that. I have to be a little more careful. And the gallbladder just helps you. It's a little sac under your belly that holds bile, when you need it to digest fatty foods and stuff. So again, I just won't be going to Buffalo Wild Wings ever again. So, but that'll be okay. So what is HEPIC? HEPIC is hypothermic intraperitoneal chemotherapy. And this is the fun part. After they rip everything out of you, they're going to put some holes into your side, pretty much the same place I already have them now. They're going to put some tubes in you, and they're going to pump liquid, warmed chemotherapy and water through your whole peritoneal cavity to rinse everything and have the chemo kill any little pieces that they didn't get out. When they're cutting things out, when they're scraping here, they're cutting here, little follicles, little tiny molecules, everything's going to be loose. This is just going to go cycle through like a washing machine and try to kill every little tiny piece of the disease, of the mucus, of the cancer. So again, you need to have complete cytoreductive of all tumors and mucus. Again, if they cut me open and they can't do it, if they say, yeah, if we take out there's just too much in his small intestines, we can't take that much of his small intestines out, and they say, okay, we can't do it, I won't have HEPIC. If I don't have HEPIC, no chance of the cure. And then, again, as I said, circulating warm 4 degrees Celsius, and for my friends in America that ain't down with the big C, that is 104 degrees Fahrenheit for 90 minutes. And then you can have an open or closed technique. This just means, again, there's a really, really big, they're ripping open your whole gut here. It's pretty much from the bottom of where you do CPR, from there all the way down, all the way down to your sternum. So they cut you open. The open is they leave you open and they circulate the stuff as you're open. The closed method is they kind of clamp you closed and they do it closed. And there you go. So our next thing. So after all that stuff, after all that little research, I went and saw the first specialist. My first specialist was a Dr. Yutaka Yonemura. He is stationed in Osaka, which I live in Tokyo. Well, actually, I live outside Tokyo in Chiba, which is kind of like where I used to live in PG County in terms of compared to DC. It's just a suburb. It's right outside of Tokyo. But Osaka, as I said in my Facebook page, it was a 5-hour, literally like almost to the dot, 5-hour trip from my door to the hospital door for the trip there. But yeah, so I saw him, and this is what he said. So, well, first about him. He has done the cytoreductive surgery over around 3,000 times. He has 20 years of experience and has done the surgery over 1,500 times for PMP cases. He does the surgery in around 6 hours, which is a little bit different because in America and England, the standard is usually 10 to 12 hours. But he does his in 6 hours. So that's a little bit different. Well, a lot different, but that's okay. He does this HEPIC at 43 degrees Fahrenheit, not 4 degrees, and he does it for 40 minutes instead of the 90 minutes. So he does the things a little different, but his results are actually pretty well. I've looked up a lot of his numbers. He does a lot of research, a lot of clinical studies. Survival rates are really good. Yeah, everything's pretty good, pretty solid. So he gave me an estimated 5-year survival rate of 90%. I was like, all right, dude, that's pretty good. 90% chance I'll be around for these 5 years. I'm liking that. Sounds pretty good. He said I had a low chance, just 10%, of a permanent stoma or a colostomy, which is the poop bag. Right? He said, you know what, we should be okay. But there's always a chance something unexpected pops up when we get in there. But it's still only a 10% chance. I'm liking that odds, So I really don't want a bag of, I know anyone who's watched this, if you have it, I know I've read the people's reviews and people say they get used to it. It's not that big a deal. And to be honest, if I'm living with it, if I'm alive, I'll probably be on that same boat. But man, I really don't want to end up with that thing. Yeah. Anyway, so 10% chance only 10% chance that I would get that, which was pretty good. And again, we had a plan. The plan was now to start TS1 oral chemotherapy and do that for 3 months. If any of my friends on Facebook know, you saw the picture. I've already started taking this. I'm doing all right. There's a little bit I kind of feel like a little hot, like twinges inside and stuff, but I'm doing all right. My appetite's still around. Surprise, surprise. But we're doing okay. And then in August, after the 3 months of chemo, which will be 2 weeks on the chemo, 1 week of rest. In August, we'll do scans and checks and just an overall look at what's going on. And that'll prepare us for September. In September, I will have laparoscopic HEPIC, which is before the surgery. What pretty much what's going to do, it's not going to be as intense. Well, I don't know if necessarily that's really true, but they're going to basically do the same thing with the 4 holes here, but an extra hole here where they're going to put I don't want to say a scraper, but like a stirrer/scraper, a left-handed smoke shifter for those from 10 to 22. But anyway, they're going to put this little thing inside of me, and they're going to circulate the chemo and the warm water. And the idea is after the chemo, hopefully the chemo is going to dry out some of the mucus. It's like everywhere inside of me. And there's like little pieces of it. There's not many large chunks of it. So they're hoping that the chemo will dry out and loosen a lot of those little pieces, and that we can go in there with this like pretty much a pre-wash, pre-rinse before the surgery, take out and get a lot of little pieces out of there. So when we go in for surgery, my PCI at that point will actually be lower, maybe down in hopefully down near 10. So we'll do that in September. And then in December 28th, actually, so far, the date is December 28th, would be the cytoreductive surgery with the HEPIC. And again, he estimated my PCI at 20. So I had this meeting with him. And as you can tell, it's still not good. You got a 90% chance, live for 5 more years. I'm only 40 years old. That should be 100%. But this is not the situation. It's still 9% chance. And that's still pretty good. And again, the 10-year, it's really hard to tell because, again, a lot of that depends on when they open me up. the 5-year survival rate is pretty consistent regardless of the number, like your PCI and like how bad everything is. But the 10-year, it does vary greatly depending on what's inside and just how bad and where it is. So we have to wait and see after surgery to get that. But there is a chance. He said, he said he had 20-year survivors, and he had hope that I could be in that group as well. So that was really encouraging. I mean, to be honest, where's my little thing here? I'm going to be a complete homer. Here we go. Oh, I have the slippers too. I'm going to be a complete homer here. My little team. Packers. There you go. The evil is spreading. Sweet. But yes, I honestly had this analogy after I left his office. I felt like I guess the best feeling the way I could explain it is like I felt like I was in a huddle with Brett Favre. Like it's the fourth quarter. You're down like 5-6 points. You need a touchdown. It's like 10, 15, 20, whatever. It's about the game's pretty much over. You need a freaking marathon. And you damn know he might just throw a pick. You damn know he might just throw it. There's 1,000 things he could do wrong. There really are. But at the same time, that crazy gunslinger can do an 80-yard touchdown, do some crazy nonsense, and win the freaking game and make your day. So that's kind of how I felt. Like, I know that things are bad, and I know things could go even worse. Things can go bad. But talking to him, the way he talked about it, again, he was a little excited because, like, again, I did a lot of research, so I started asking him questions about everything. He was like, oh, he was really excited. So I was really excited. We're all excited, so it was pretty cool. I left there. Again, I was feeling good, really great. I guess some people on Facebook might have saw my post about my trip home. We got my bullet train got stuck in Osaka for 3 hours on the way out of Osaka. I didn't make it back to Tokyo until like 2 a.m, and the trains to Chiba, where I live, were already stopped running. So I actually ended up spending the night in a train station. They pulled up an empty train, let us all sleep in there, like a couple hundred of us. And so I slept on a train for 2.5 hours till I got up at 4:30 in the morning. Took the 4:40 first train home, took it home, climbed in the shower, got cleaned up, climbed into bed with this little one here, pretty much 5 minutes before she woke up. But I was home because she wasn't feeling too good. I didn't come home that night. So that was nice. And again, that whole experience, I could have cared less, man. I was on cloud 9, felt like I was going to be good. But then we went to see the second specialist. I was just hoping, think like anyone else hopes, is you just want consistency. You want the answer. When you go see a second specialist, you want anything, like you want hope, you want a good answer. I think more than anything, you just want to have a consistent answer, so you know what actually is going on, what's wrong with you. He did not. His was totally different. It wasn't pleasant. It was one of the most uncomfortable hours of my life, probably, I'd have to say. But so I went to see him. I don't put his name up on here because again, he didn't let me tell me I could. So I'm not not going to be a mean guy, a rude guy. But anyway, he is one of the top specialists, or he actually he is not. He is the top specialist in the Tokyo area that works at a federal facility. I don't know if any of you are actually using federal as the right way here, because it may be a little different in Japan. But the hospitals actually that work through the government, that work through national health care, not the private hospitals, the public hospitals. He is the top specialist that works at the public hospitals in the Tokyo area. So again, he knows what he's talking about. Pretty knowledgeable guy. And he said, my PMP is DPAN. Again, same thing, which is good. But then he proceeded to tell me that I have a mixture of PMP and peritoneal metastasis from collateral cancer. And what do you think that is? That is some really messed up stuff as well. So he thinks I also have this, an actual mixture of this. So that he thinks some of those little pockets of pus and mucus are PMP, but also some of this. And he thinks that my lower groin region, especially from where the last growth was, has possibly a lot of this. But again, this is going to be kind of crude because I just found out 2 days ago, so my research on this is limited. And for the most part, I read a little bit about it, as I read about PMP, because they're kind of in the same boat because they have the same treatments. And usually this is where, like, I'd read about the PMP and then there'd be a little disclaimer about people with this one had these numbers and they were always really bad. So hopefully, yeah, anyway. So it is a stage for cancer of the colon rectum. It is similar to PMP that it spreads out from a primary tumor and creates metastasis, small tumors throughout throughout, actually, it all depends on where it goes. These have been known to go into the lungs, through the lymph nodes. And again, if anything gets in your lymph nodes, if cancer gets there, it goes everywhere because it goes through your bloodstream. So it is much more common than PMP, though. It is a much more common cancer. That does not mean it's any easier to treat, because it's not. It's worse, actually, much worse survival rates than PMP, and is much more aggressive. So he told me that. My little sheet. This is Japanese for the DPAM. We circled that. That was good. But then he pulled the sheet over here and wrote this part. And that's where he said, oh, you have this one. I said, oh, yeah, that's great. But so he does still believe that surgery is the best route. He still thinks I should try to do it, but he can't do it himself because either the peritoneal cancer is not covered by the National Insurance of Japan, or the combination of both of them together isn't covered by National Health Insurance of Japan. And since he works at the public hospital, they can't offer me that surgery. They can't do it for me. I'd have to go to a private hospital. And of course, those are much more expensive. And I still have to find a specialist that would be willing to do it. So he can't do it. And he's also not confident the surgery will be complete. He still thinks I should plan it, get it going, try. But he doesn't. He was much more pessimistic that they'd actually be able to do it. He was especially worried about my small intestines. He was pretty sure that those would be inoperable. So, yeah, that was a big hit. He gave me a survival rate. Again, if I'm inoperable, if they can't complete the surgery, the survivor. This is not his personal statistics. This is like the national, global statistics. If I can't survive, if I can't get the complete the surgery, I would have a 10% chance of living 5 years. And even with the circulatory surgery and the HEPIC, if I have this condition, I would have a 30 to 40% chance of reaching 5 years with the surgery. So that happened on Tuesday, and that's why I couldn't come straight home. A little bit of a rough day. Had to take a little time to kind of get my head straight, Didn't want to come home. Hey, you don't stop watching YouTube sometime, You're on YouTube, She loves a little the videos of watching pretty much like other kids and adults play with toys. It's like her favorite thing in the world to watch. So yeah, I mean, really, I don't know why I have all these sports and like analogies in my head. I watch a lot of sports. This might be why, but really, like when I left that on the train ride home, I just said, I was like, Ray Allen, like this is Doctor. Sorry, I just want to put his name, Dr. Ray Allen. Right? Okay, I got it. I got great news, man. Like the game, it's close, but I'm feeling good. I should have it. I should get the win. No. Someone forgot about Ray Allen in the goddamn corner. Hit the freaking 3-pointer in the game. 5 seconds left. Ties up the game. Steals an NBA championship for my Spurs. So yeah, I don't like this. I shouldn't say I don't wish any ill will to the doctor. I don't dislike him. I just dislike his prognosis. He seemed like a nice enough man, a nice enough gentleman. He was very courteous. He wasn't harsh. He was, he had very good manners. So he had nothing against him. So yeah, that's where we stand now. We have two dramatically, obscenely different prognoses for my condition, which is not that uncommon with PMP, because again, until they open you up, they really don't know. So that's where we're at right now. I told my first surgeon, I told him what the second one said. He rechecked my information, and he doesn't agree. He still doesn't agree. He's going to try to talk to him, and they're going to maybe banter back and forth, figure it out, and see what happens. So we don't know for sure. Again, if I have it, yeah, it's just another hurdle that we're going to have to climb and get over. But hopefully we don't. Again, PMP is bad enough as it is. We don't need to pile on. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. That's the update. And oh man, actually, yeah. What's wrong? Oh, why you push the button for? Which one you want to see? You want to see the Pokemon Playhouse? You want to play Playhouse? Pokemon Playhouse?
No.
You sure?
No.
Which one?
No.
The mermaids? This one? Okay. You got it. If you hold this way, it's a bigger screen, There you go. Should be okay. All right. Anyway, so that's where we're at right now. The fact that they're that different, even if, they're not going to come to an agreement. When they're that different, I highly doubt they're going to come to an agreement. With that being said, I was so excited about the first one that I took down the GoFundMe a little. I didn't take down I took down the goal, because I was like, 90%, 5 years, man. I got time to figure this out. But then from the second one, I had to put it back to what it was before, because I might not have 5 years, which is what I started out with the premise. So I really think I do need to go get a third opinion, just because they are so different. And again, it is the most important thing about the surgery is that they know as much as they can going into it. So if even as great as the one doctor is, as great as he is, as much experience as he has, if he goes in there thinking I don't have this and I do, that's gonna suck, because it's probably different chemos, it's different little things here and there that he might not be ready for. It's just a commercial. Here you go. It's okay. There you go. It's okay. Hey, I love you. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Yeah. So that's going on with all that. And all right. So this is the part of the video where you're just gonna be like, all right, that's enough, dude. I'm done. I'm out. I'm gone. I can't take it anymore. I know for some of you that might have been, where when this one popped up, like, okay, Jeremy, I'm out. Okay, this is too much. No, this is I can't. I'm checking out. You're done, son. You got it. Whatever. Peace. This might be the part where some of you do this as well. But sad to say, either partly probably due to the stress of the situation and everything that's going on. Also, just because it is part of it runs in her family. My wife is having some health issues as well, and it is seeming highly likely, almost definite at this point, that she will have to have surgery as well. She has an ovarian cyst that is swelling up and is at the point where they think it might burst, just like my appendix burst. And of course, we know what happens when that happens. So we don't want that to happen with her cyst. So she will almost definitely have surgery sometime in the next couple months. Probably squeeze it in between all my surgeries. She will probably have to go into the hospital as well for 2 weeks or so. So, I mean, you know, when it rains, it pours, or whatever analogy you want to use. Yeah, it's coming. You know, I don't know, man. Like Mike Tyson's just beating up my life right now, but it's all right. You know, we're trying to make plans, we're trying to push through. We're gonna, try to stay happy as long as we can. All right, guys, this is 35 minutes. This is a bit long. Sorry again. We're gonna end it here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for helping out. I hope this is worth your time. Hope you learned something. Hope you got to, I don't know. Hope you got a kick out of my Brett Favre's analogy or my Ray Allen analogy. Who knows? Hey, love you. See you. Hang on, John. Bye-bye. Will you put that down for 2 seconds? Come on. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye, Uncle Joe. Bye-bye, Grandpa. Bye-bye, Josh. Hello, Carla. Hello, Aaron. Say love you. Would you love the mermaids? Come here, up. Say love you. There you go. Say. Okay. All right. So yeah, take it easy, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.